This is where we fight!
The battle is on. Mars versus Venus with Nikki, Jaiga, and Rode.
Johnny, wait!
Thank you. All right. So you think switching off my mic and go will stop me? Good morning, Ojo World. All you come in, let the live bell. Let the live bell. We're about to open the door.
Come in, let the light bell.
Mars versus Venus, of course. This is where we bring couples closer together or we drive them further apart. We welcome our beautiful gladiators, the women, the backbone of society, the mothers, the ones who cradle and guide the next generation. Woohoo! And we welcome the Spartans. Just celebrated International Day. We love our men, especially our Trini man. Nothing sweeter than a Trini Spartan.
Only on a mountain. Only on the mountain.
Where the love?
Only on a mountain.
They said, "Oh, get them no love, get them love again, Katai."
Only on a mountain.
So morning, Ojo World. So this morning, we're dealing with something that could cause you real stress in your life. Co-parenting.
Co-parenting, the do's and don'ts in co-parenting.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about today, guys. The do's and don'ts. The things that you should and should not do while co-parenting, especially if the relationship, well, once you're co-parenting, that means the relationship is dissolved.
Right.
So you have to find that balance in order to have a very productive way forward.
I've seen many couples that make it work, and those that make it work are the ones that really honestly put children first.
Right.
You know, their kids first in terms of they're very protective of who they introduce their kids to. Maybe some not at all, whatever they're doing in terms of relationship-wise outside of the parenting, they just don't even involve the kids. And then I've seen parenting gone really bad. I mean, really bad, to the point where you're just stupid now, you know. And I think we need to talk about it because we have to get all these feelings, all these ex feelings. Plenty of time them ex feelings and egos and all that. And many times they try to mess up the relationship because they know that will hurt them. You want to hurt the woman, you go after the child, you know, you do something to upset her with the child, and vice versa. You know, women all of a sudden think that they've made the child, so that's my property, and pick up the child and go. And I disagree with things like that. I you know, and that's why I keep saying this is important for us to talk about it, so that because all your baggage is put on these poor children. They had to walk around with all this backpack. They had to pull the suitcase. It is too much for them.
We must admit that
they grew up with issues with all that baggage, and it just keeps going into the next cycle. When children get big now, is their issues, their parents' issues, and
what you have to deal with is what causes the tension in the first place. One scenario is, you know, there are different styles of parenting. There are different ways that, you know, each one of us grew up.
Yeah.
And everybody have a different technique in order to love children, to train children, discipline them.
You have to be on the same page.
When you get into a new relationship, you grew up a certain way. You know your mother and your fathers deal with you a certain way. Then you meet this person, and they are the total opposite to how you accustomed dealing with your kids and how you was dealt with as a child. So that is one thing that has caused tension. Another thing that has caused tension is
listening to that alone, you know that person had baggage. They come into relationship with plenty baggage.
So is to me is finding a mutual ground, you know. It's to find a mutual ground, because you can't say the minute you say it's my way or the highway, then that going to mash up for sure.
Well, if you even have co-parenting issues, like, okay, one think, oh God, you're too hard on the child. Why you have to think? And another one who very strict and say, no, we have to have some order. Children need order. They need parameters, and they have to be bed by 7:30. God, let them up till about 9.
The weird thing about it is that it is work when it's the biological parents, you know, because you have parents who the mother strict or the father strict, and then the mother or the father a little more playful in terms of discipline.
They can always have one or the other.
But it does work because it's always that element of that my child. But when you have somebody who is a step parent, there's always have that tension in between that they my child and I telling you how I want my child to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And that in itself does cause bacchanal. The other element I'm talking about is the mom or the dad not having too much dealings with the child, but they want the most say. They want to tell you how to operate with this child and how don't comb their hair this way or don't discipline them in this way. Don't put them in no naughty corner, but you ain't contributing. So how much say you should really have because use the mom or use the dad? How much say you should really have?
And that's why it's so important when you meet someone to kind of know their values and what their family values are. Because you could kind of tell yourself, well, no, I can't make no child with this person because they don't have the same kind of family values, you know? And that's caused real rift. That's the kind of relationships you're talking about. So if one partner is from a loving family relationship, grow up with mom, dad, the whole, natural family, what we call a neutral family, right? And they going through life, everything. They know about family get-togethers. They know about birthdays together. That kind of bringing up. They know about manners, all those kind of things. And then you meet someone who didn't grow up with that, who didn't grow up with manners and don't know what it is for families to come over and celebrate birthdays, and our families just don't experience those kind of things. And you put a couple like that together. I think this is where the problems with the co-parenting come in. You know, different values, you know.
Yeah, there's always a thin line between showing that sense of discipline and you straight out, right out, just don't like the child.
Oh Lord, well,
and sometimes you have the issue where you don't like it. It's not like you don't like the child, you know. You just don't like the child mother, or you don't like the child father.
Also, this is like a step parent now stepping in.
Step parent.
Yeah. And you can't come in a relationship and a man have a child or vice versa, or the woman have a child and you don't want to, it's a package. So you meet a woman with a 5-year-old and yes, best woman and thing, but you can't be, every time you want to meet with her, she telling you, oh, but no, I can't leave the house until I put the child to bed, and you find there's a problem. And
he's 5.
Yeah.
So you can't afford to sleep on your own?
Exactly, you know.
You're outside, girl.
You had to check yourself.
Outside.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Check yourself.
So we're talking about co-parenting here, the do's and don'ts, and you heard from Nikki, you heard from Rudy, and putting the spin on it, you have to also remember, as Nikki said, in relationships, you have to try and see the red flags from before. If you meet someone and that person's family structure is not one that you are accustomed to or has never seen in your life, you automatically know it's going to have problems. That's fact. You can say what you want, it's going to have issues. It's also going to have issues if you meet someone who that individual is not a parent and you're a parent, because they will always have imbalance. It's never going to be balanced. As much as they're going to say, yeah, I support you, I understand, and they never will, because they have not physically deal with the emotions that comes when having a child. Because as the joke Rudy just said, it might sound funny, whereas a man pull up outside the house, yeah, girl outside, he done a journey.
Yeah.
He's checking a girl who has a son, who has a daughter at a particular age, and can't understand why it is she can't give the most valuable commodity any human being could possess is their time. That's how I look at it. When somebody gives of themselves, gives of their time when they have kids, if you on the other side of that can't appreciate that, you are trash. I don't even say one explanation. Yes, trash. If you cannot appreciate somebody who has a child giving you of their time, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, dear Heavenly Father, I am trash, and keep it pushing.
Yeah. And you talk about the stepmother thing. You see a lot of CM issues is coming to play too.
It's
right?
egos.
I mean, we talk about that there. Don't let she put your hand in my child head. That kind of mentality is what I'm talking about, because family, if we want better for our kids and a better generation, we have to teach them better, right? And we have to learn from our mistakes and try and pass on what we have learned to the next generation, so it's not so difficult for them. They don't have to go through as much
Nikki,
hardships as us.
Nikki, I will class it as ego, because a real woman, I've met strong real women who understand the real world. in situations where they have a man and the man that they with have a child and they too have children, but they could hate the woman as much as possible. But once you as a woman understand what has to happen, you will put those emotions aside and say, listen, home girl.
No, I know it had.
I know it had. I know, but I've seen it happen millions of times.
Real hard. Say for instance, bam, while I was pregnant, you come and tell me you leaving me for the next woman. Them kind of things that happen.
It happens. It happens.
Right?
It
So
happens.
it's a kind of hate there from deep down. And now you telling me
Yeah, but
that
in
you had to take my 2-year-old and,
Right,
and go
but
and
in a-
bond with the,
Well, right. In a case like
It's
that,
hard.
Nicole,
hard.
the woman who he left you for, if she is not mature within self, that's where the breakdown starts. Because she has to know this woman on the next end is carrying pain.
Right.
She's carrying baggage. I cannot
Exactly.
add to it. If she really loves the man and wants the best for him and his child,
Agreed.
she would not add to that pain. She will have to do her
This
best to
is
say,
what we
listen,
talk about
home
maturity
girl,
in relationships.
home girl, what he did was trash.
yeah.
Human to human, it
Yeah.
was me saying go and have no woman to woman talk, you know, because that ego thing. But you have to know within
Go and have
yourself
tea.
what this man did to this woman is
Yeah.
nonsense. So you had to deal with him. You had to say, here, what's going on, homeboy? I ended up with you. Unbeknownst to me, you had a girl pregnant. Because most of the times I saw it as be.
Yeah.
But
They
I
find
fell in
out
love.
after.
I fell in love with you. And let's understand that emotion called love is unpredictable. I fell in love with
Yeah.
you. Now I'm here with you. You have a newborn baby.
But
with
you
a
had
girl
to
that
take
just
care of
leave.
that baby.
But one, you have to take care of that child. And two, we have to find a way
Yep.
for it to have balance. Because I know she's
it to
going to
work.
come at me all the time. So you have to defend me in a particular way. And I too have to be mature to ignore some of that noise.
And then-
Because it's going to have
I
noise.
real respect women.
It will have noise.
Who in a relationship, the man stepped out of the relationship, had a child,
Who could,
and
yeah.
then the woman
That's a different
accept the
level.
child as their own.
Yep.
That's
It's
a different
very
level of
difficult.
maturity.
It's very
Of
difficult
course it is.
for a woman to pull, for men and women to put their emotions aside.
I know
Taking a
personally
child
two people who did
after a
that.
I
man
know tons.
step out of relationship,
I know
had a
tons.
baby. Boy, I really respect
And the
women.
child looking just like here. Tell me you give back to child looking
That is
just
a different kind
Yeah,
of
but that is when-
mentality.
that's
a
how-
different level of maturity.
That's when
I
you
don't
mature
know if
enough.
I'm at
That's
that
when
level yet.
But it only happens really and truly if the woman has kids for the man. When you mature enough to understand, listen, for the betterment of the children and the history, because sometimes it's held together by the history and the relationship that you and the man shared. Because you might have had a very solid relationship. Yeah, he went and do nonsense. So now that maturity had to kick in where I need to do what's best for the children first. And it only ends up good when the man performs how he's supposed to perform.
Correct,
Meaning
right.
he comes back and
if
say,
he-
listen,
yeah,
I
if
did wrong, but from this day forward till the end of my life, I'm going to do everything possible
committed.
to and be committed to the family all wrong.
And you know what they do too? These children are wrapped up in it because, all right, picture mommy now. She know the children go by the step for mother and the father. Yes, and thing and do eat she food, you know, and da.
That's what I'm
And-
talking about, the
yeah.
maturity.
So it's a real and children get so
Feeding
they
the
go
child
on there now. The stepmother most of the times it's like them, you know what I mean? It's children, and they get in thing, and so they have all this baggage that mommy put on them.
Yeah,
now they
but
go by
children
the
innocent.
stepmother.
It is always the parents. Children innocent.
It's always the
When a
parents.
child turns and say, "But you're not my mother," that is not the child
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah. Correct,
That
that's
is
right.
where the
That's
child
the-
come
yeah,
from.
yeah,
So
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
watch me and say, "But I didn't know that the child doing that." The energy. That's a lie.
Yeah,
Correct.
It's you put
That's
in that
a lie. You
energy.
put in that
and
energy into
all
the
these
child.
Thoughts into your All right. Morning breakfast party. People tend to hide their faults. It's only right when you do it. If I do the same thing, it's wrong. Don't know about family life until I introduce it. But keeping in mind that you don't even see parenting as a real responsibility. It's true. Some people don't see parenting as a real responsibility. Morning DJ show in Ali, Princess
That's
Town
because they grow up in
Hospital
a Mickey Mouse
lockdown.
house.
There's
you
a
see.
certain amount of jealousy that has come with when
Yeah,
you're
boy.
dealing with a stepchild, and that stepchild gets so attached to you. And Saturday come and
Yeah.
daddy or mommy had to come and pick them up, and they realize, well, you really want to come with me.
Yeah.
That
Again,
jealousy
your
that's started to
egos
build
and-
up
Yeah,
in you.
but
Instead of you thanking the step parent and saying, boy, I realize you're a real
Again,
check from a
maturity.
child, boy.
Maturity.
And you take from it and you learn from it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you
It is
quick to
maturity.
get jealous.
It is
Oh,
maturity.
my child attached to you, so.
It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
maturity.
my child?
And
What you
also,
telling my child?
and also, we also have to bear in mind it's the adult's fault and it's the adult's duty because
Yep.
watch this picture, right?
It's our
Home
fault,
girl,
guys.
home girl in a relationship, man gone wherever, she has a child. Okay, man loves child, wants to bond. you know the father of the child comes over. Let's say he says 2-3 days a week he come in and do school.
And has to work both ways.
Is his duty. So for it to be comfortable, he comes there, sits with his son or daughter to do homework or whatever. You have to have respect for him and your child.
Yes.
So now what is tend to happen here where the immaturity is coming? All of a sudden when he's there, you finding these Lisa things to put on. You're with parading up and down your house. So you taking you on your Instagram live or your Instagram stories with you half naked, he in a silhouette shot in the background doing homework, but you in a panty and a bra to show people I'm just home chilling, and in the background is your CF doing homework to give an impression as though
he does still pass through.
Come on, that's immature.
We here.
You understand? We here.
Booting in the back there.
Yeah, Nicola, what's
Hello, Jason.
them kind of nonsense.
Jeremiah, say hello.
How is that? What is that? What is that?
What is that?
Good morning. I love this topic.
Good morning, Molly.
I think when you are co-parenting, rule number 1, the other parent responsibility is to the child and not the other parent. So for that, the responsibility is to the child, not the mother. And for moms, the responsibility is to your child, not the father.
Correct.
Having said that, you have to be respectful to each other all the time, particularly in the presence of that child, because at the end of the day, you are both piece of that child. That child is supposed to love and care for both parents equally, regardless of what. So parents have to be careful of what they're saying about the other parent in the presence of a child. You should always be respectful. Always be respectful and speak good things in the presence of your child.
If I ain't good, you know, he's good at all.
Them said that nonsense.
Children cringe and hurt when they see one parent bad-mouthed another parent. You have to be careful of that.
So immature and stupid.
And it's so true what Marlene is saying, because you know, because I went through that as a divorce, and there's something my father always talk about. There was a time I was about 6, 7, and my mother and grandmother were good bad talking to Chinese man, right? And I come in there and I say, leave him alone. When my hot mouth does my boy say. And you know, I remember getting a tap from my grandmother or something. And
because he must be on their side.
Yeah, and he up to this day he still talk about the fact that Mooney daughter, whoever defend my boy against that grandmother, and you know, but they put children in the middle, and they either way, if he didn't drop money last week or you ain't see him 3 weeks, children love their parents down to the last.
I will go to my grave saying, you will never ever get from me that level of negative energy. So however it turned out, I will go to my grave with a peace of mind knowing you will never ever hear I spoke ill will of your mother.
Correct.
I had anything negative to say about your mother. Whatever me and your mother have is between me and her.
Ask your mother where she was last night.
Them said that nonsense. Them said that stupidness.
Just think
Big
everything that
people
comes
think
out your
shouldn't
mouth,
fall on
you
children.
put
From the time
in
you
your
could say,
children's
your
mind.
father this and your father that, you is trash. You cannot ever get my respect after that.
Yeah.
I will never respect
Morning,
you.
Roma. Nice to have you. Blessings to my wife. I have 2, Judson, and we back.
What? Let us leave it alone now. Why are you even fighting up?
And she loved the kids, so she's amazing. All right, I get in that. Tristan and her sister Leah, I see her as my child regardless. Even though the father is not of this world, I love them both because they come from the same gene. How can I not love her knowing that they are part of a person that I love? So that's Tristan and her sister from Molly.
And that's Molly's.
You have to, guys.
There's a case where, a child is being well taken care of, loved by the stepmom or the stepdad, and the child, the parent of that child is doing every single thing in their power to mash up that home.
And that relationship.
To mash up that home and a relationship. No, they don't want no kind of mutual grounds. They don't want no conversation.
That's ego.
Them just vexed.
They're
Ego.
just upset for
That's
no
ego.
reason.
Good morning.
Ego.
All you're touching right up my alley with my current situation right now.
Plenty people.
The difference is that my 2 kids are big children, big teenagers, and their mother trying hard to paint their father as a demon, and they have problem dealing with it because they don't know that. They know daddy is a loving, fun guy, and when they come and they just always tell me, daddy, mommy say this and mommy say that, and I have to try to be the sweet, nice one. But don't study she now go out, she just hurtingly, she'll get over.
Sometimes parents fail to realize
pain
as
and
well.
good voice too.
Yeah, sometimes parents fail to realize as well that this child is being exposed to two different
Kind of
environments,
vibes.
you know.
Yeah, two different.
One minute you buy daddy, they handle the household a certain way. And then next week, you buy a mother who she may be a little stricter. And they're exposed to those two things. So it has been difficult for the child to
Of
buy.
course, that's what I keep saying. It's
And,
all
and
about the
our
children.
responsibility as the parents is to make the child as comfortable as possible. And
Yes.
the only way that can happen is if there's some sort of
communication
between
mom
and the dad.
communication.
Yeah, mature communication. There's some
You
guidelines.
and I don't have to like each other,
No,
but we should be
no.
able to
We don't have to be
speak.
friends.
Boy.
We don't have to be
Exactly.
friends.
We just say, okay, what time for you? 5:30. Okay.
Simple.
Just
And just
simple
stand-
conversation.
And just stand by what it is you say. That's it. At the end of the day, you have to remember, we both love this child, and there are events in the child life that we both have to share. You understand? In terms of graduation, things that there are different stages in a child life that both parents.
Tell your woman don't be touching up my child head. I mean, like that hairstyle, she'll come back in.
Come on, it's simple. If you don't like the hairstyle, fine. When the child comes in by you, you simply unloose it and comb it how you
Quite a
want.
simple thing.
It doesn't have to be a whole
No,
set of drama.
You're maljoin my child head.
Yeah.
You're maljoin my child
Yeah,
head.
the child head dropping.
A simple thing like a birthday. You know, we want to celebrate the 5th birthday or whatever. Yeah, well, I do my own birthday with she because me don't know what they are planning and me really want to go down on that side. And
Yeah.
it's not about you.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
So now the child have two birthday party. All right, let's get some of your voice notes and messages out. A lot today, guys. Hi, Ojo family. All my life I've experienced mothers alienating fathers. It's important that mothers understand that men and women nurture differently and no one is better, but the mix is what makes a balance. So please let kids have vital one-on-one time with their fathers. I have no relationship with my father and very poor one with my mother. Quincy. Thanks for sharing, Quincy. We appreciate it. Okay, what he was trying to say, the guy I couldn't understand. He said he was driving. But what we're talking about, he living with it every single day. I know of situations where when the child leaves one parent to go to a parent who might be a little less financially able, they keep the computer closed, etc., and tell the kids to let the other parent give you what they when you go by them. Sad. Then you don't really love that child. You're just trying to make the other parent look bad. No maturity.
Just tell a father our back that slipper.
Lack
Our
of
back the
maturity.
slipper.
Lack of maturity.
I decided to walk away from my CM after 10 years. Caught her cheating with a man fresh out of prison. Someone she didn't even know personally. It's our son, God's mother's friend. She put restraining order against me and then invited me to his birthday party, so I didn't go. She's telling people I said I'm not coming, but failed to tell them about the restraining order. Fast forward 5 years later, the man leave her with 3 months rent and want to be friends with me. I said, nah, good. Keep it about the kid. You forgot when you had your man ring my doorbell. Wow. Oh, okay.
Damn.
Wow. On all joke aside, yeah, we make jokes about CM and CM. I still have that every day when I wake up. Thank God that my situation is not some of the stories that I hear.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my
The
situation
Pope
is
real
not
hot up.
She what a Golden Grove loving, boy.
She would have go and groove loving it.
Yeah, boy.
Damn.
Yeah, boy. She would have
Morning,
visit bad
guys.
loving.
Morning.
Listen, it's two things really. One is that before you get to that point, people you getting to know, your children don't need to get to know. Understand me clearly. You getting to know this person, you deciding if this person is, matching your values and so on. And in that stage, your children don't need to get to know that person. So stop that foolishness
Every
one
week
time.
is
Your children
uncle
don't need to
this.
have 4 uncle, 5 auntie,
Auntie.
every week. No, your children don't need that. You don't need to be dating somebody. You could say, right, 3 months past. No, take your time. Where's the rush? Remember when you introduce somebody to your children, that person becomes a fixture in your children's mind. The next thing is this. You might say, don't say nothing bad about the next parent, but also remember, watch your body language, watch your tone, watch your energy. Children just feed
up
off of that
everything.
and read it
Sponge.
very, very clearly.
Sponge
So
everything.
you might think up your face. No,
Yes.
they just see all that, they just pick up on it, they're not stupid. And as time go on,
Yep.
they would realize who is who on their own anyway.
Correct?
I watch it. I see my grandmother now going,
Yeah, the kuyama, the kuyama, the kuyama.
Look him, look.
The most dangerous thing in the world is a kuyama. You see that out there?
Yeah.
I see men. I see boy that kuyama just bring out the evil in it. It's get kuyama
Nikki,
some man
Rudy,
chip off.
Jaiga, Row. Play with man here. You see that co-parenting thing? Fellas, just let all they know. Be careful who all they making children with. There's
And
some
woman.
dread woman out there.
Man, take your
Or they go
time.
break up and she go turn to Medea. It's a whole mad scene. Trust me.
Way.
About
Yeah.
Brethren going through that right now. He and the girl was good, and as they done, using the child as a weapon.
Yep.
Real pressure. The girl put him up in child support. It's real pain, dog. It's real pain. So fellas, know all they do
Real
it.
pain.
And ladies, it has some dread man out there too, so they watch all themselves out there.
Yeah.
And let me
Gojo.
just
because it have you know, a mother or a father who make a child, it doesn't make them a parent. Eh?
Exactly.
Right?
We
It,
say
it
that
have
all
it
the
have
time.
fathers
Who just
who
day.
is just sperm donors.
Yep.
And it have mothers who just make a child.
baby carriers. But listen,
Yeah.
listen to this though. Let me, and this is my personal view here. So it's not the view of Rudy, Nikki,
Never
Raw.
is.
My personal advice to people in rough situations when it comes to man, woman, child situation is every individual do your part.
Yeah, do your part.
Right? As a father, especially a young man out there, the girl that had a child where the relationship didn't work out, it's rocky, it's quarrel, whatever. Do not lose focus on what is important. Do not get caught up in the noise of the arguments and trying to outdo and trying to prove that you're better than or prove that you know. Put all our energy into the child.
It's very
Take the
difficult.
cuss, take the quarrel, take all of that and focus on the child. Make sure that bond you have with your child is solid.
We know it's easier
and
said than
continue
done,
praying and hoping that eventually the noise dwindles down. And when the noise dwindles down and the dust is cleared, you know what will come out? You will see the diamond in the rough. You will have a beautiful relationship with your child.
And as Lily said, children get bigger and they kind of make sense out of nonsense.
And listen to me, believe this. They always talk about CM this and child father this and whatever. At the end of the day, they know right and wrong, you know. And they know within themselves, if you continue to do the right thing, their conscience is going to bother them. At some point, they'll realize, on all of that thing, at least you defend the child.
Yeah.
And they too will grow out of it until they find themselves. You have to hope and pray that they find themselves.
right
Don't take it too serious. It's Friday. Ojo, we here. What's in the past stays in the past. Do the maths.
Cartel. It's very saddening when it is you're feeling like you're forcing the father or the mother to step up, you know. You're not seeing this child love you, boy.
Yeah.
And children is love unconditionally.
Yeah, boy.
Of course.
Yeah, boy.
And dogs.
Sometimes they don't even know that this parent or this guardian ain't seeking the best interest, but they love them.
The sad thing is,
That
many
kind of
people
innocent
make
kind of love.
children and they weren't mature ready for children. So you have the immaturity that comes with it. And with it, the children...
Morning, guys.
and all that.
One Friday, Mars versus Venus. That I agree with Jaiga. Mark
One.
this day down.
Mark it down.
So, energy is another thing. My grandparents put up when my mother was 3 years old. My grandmother never battled my grandfather in front of my mother. But every weekend when my mother had to go over to my grandfather's house because he got married after to a lady, same birthday as my grandmother, had 2 kids, so he wanted all 3 of his kids to be together every weekend. My grandmother would give off this negative energy and my mother will pick up on that. And she wouldn't eat or do anything when she over there because she feel like she betraying my grandmother.
See, children have, and they walk away with the issues. Morning, guys. I just want to wish my sister Faith a happy 19th birthday from Barbados. Have a great day.
Morning.
Morning.
Jaiga, one thing I want to add to that too, right, is that to child fathers, right, with all the cussing and stuff, on top of ignoring, right, try your best not to respond.
Exactly.
Right?
Don't
Focus on the child, yes, but don't respond because at the end of the day, right, once it is your CM, when she think back and she realized that, you know, this guy, despite what had nothing negative to say about me, right, it gets them to change.
Yeah, all
Facts.
right. My brother
Because at the end of the day, as you always say, you will always have contention because any human is a human reaction, a human emotion.
Yes.
When things didn't go your way,
course.
it's to flare up.
And
it happens to
egos.
everybody. So you too, somebody, it's either the man or the woman have to step up because in some instances, women do it. You know, there's some men who the relationship dissolve and they vex, they hate the woman, they find the woman this and that, and it's the strength of the woman that keeps everything together. She has to put tail between leg and face his family because of the child. There are instances where you have to have like as Nikki was saying, like a Christmas dinner or whatever. You know you hate this man, you know.
Yeah, right.
You hate this man, all this man is a hymns.
Yeah,
he there with his new girl or whatever,
Yeah.
but you had to put
Things
tail
like
between leg.
graduation, those kind of things are important to the children
And you
that
have
both
to,
of you all there.
but how you react and how you operate,
Yep.
because and then you see it too, and then if you lucky enough to have a mature family extension, meaning that the child's grandparents and aunts and
active.
uncles don't see. They see the brother as hymns.
Yeah.
They don't know to themselves he's stupid for doing what he
Yeah,
do.
but they love the child.
But they love the child. They will give you that respect, and the child will see that love.
You know, it's our parents who, you know, they have some sort of graduation to go to. They know they wasn't a part of the whole process with them doing good in school and staying focused on, but they up front with the camera.
My child.
Yeah, you will get that. You will
I
always get that.
hope my CM is listening to this program this morning. Good morning, Giselle.
Wow, Giselle. Wow. Better
Wow,
yourself, Giselle.
Better yourself.
Yeah, that's some child fathers, right? Does do the best, and the mother does still try to bring down the father, sees that the father ain't doing enough. But people don't know. There's a two story, and there's the in between story.
Yeah. We know that.
Yeah, but
That's the
as
emotions
I
we're
just
talking
gave you all
about.
the counteraction, that will never die. That is something that's like the sun rising in the east. A bitter woman or man will always say out of time in things and do out of time in things. It's the person on the next end to be strong enough and resilient.
Or stun is the right word for me to use. With your awareness, with co-parenting issues, bro. I'm impressed. I gotta say, actually.
Yeah.
Bless.
Like I this topic, I'll do anything and everything for my stepdaughter, and her mother is so negative. She's 3 years old and with me 6 days a week. And this woman does not just be poisoning her mind. It's difficult, and my husband started seeing it too.
Wow.
And the poor man has been in the middle.
Wow.
Dr.
Joe,
Shea,
bless your present.
Dr.
You
Shea.
see when that happen, you see the woman or the man, that one going on there, they have to be very careful with who they're choosing, because my kids' mommy and me separate really as she in England. I have a new woman home. My son is 25, my daughter is 18. The man go call and talk to she children. You know my man is told feelings over that and about, oh, she want to press buttons in this house. That real little girl thing I just say. So at the end of the day, sooner or later, I don't know, it going on crash. Ojo.
Wow.
Butcher, what you saying,
like a susu boy.
Butcher.
We didn't have no admin in that susu.
You know when you're in a susu and you know it's going to blue so.
Oh my God.
You're just waiting for it to crash.
As I continuously saying, children are here for life.
Life.
They don't go anywhere. That is the first thing. As any young parent, you have to understand that first. It's not going anywhere. So when you quarrel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, know that the same child is going to be there the following week, the week after that, the month after that, the year after that. So you have to find quick that balance, and that as Nikki they say, you have to clear your kundalini and sit back and say, listen, how am I going to deal with this? Because it's there for, and it doesn't end at 18. We make jokes and say, yeah, but the child will get 18. Yeah, the child gets to 18. Maybe the financial part of it in terms of when it's mandated by
when they
courts.
try to make children as your grandchildren, I mean, the family extends.
You think? But it doesn't end. It's for life.
My daughter hasn't spoken to me in 2 years due to whatever her mom told her, the reasons why we broke up 15 years ago.
Damn, bro.
All right, guys.
Brother.
A lot of texts this morning. Up to this day, guys, 15 years later, my ex-wife says to my children, who are young adults, that their father isn't good, until my daughter had to tell her about it. You have to build your own relationship with your children. As we said, get rid of all the cloud and noise.
And you have to
build
also
that
accept the fact that, and
give up.
one of the ways to get to that is facing it. You know, the relationship didn't
You
work
gotta
out.
face it head
You
on.
and the person have to come to the understanding, like, yo, we didn't work. Okay, right. I was trash. I do whatever.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, especially with men make stupid decisions when they're young. They
Wait.
do that.
Woo.
They do sometimes. Come on. Women do it as well. And now, more than ever, sad to say that because of this whole gender powering kind of vibe, I find this new millennium generation, women like they want to make all the mistakes first because they feel they have a right to, because men have done it for years. Which I think is a stupid way of doing it.
We kind of learn from you.
But they do it, but that not that, so you want to do all the wrong things we do, you want to do it before us. So you want to take, man, do this, do all of that because you feel all they do it too. It's stupid. But anyways, putting that aside, all I'm saying is that you have to face it and say, here what's going on. All right, me and you didn't work out. I did wrong. But right now, my focus is making sure that the children or child has a better version of me. And I will hope that the child can have a better version of you.
All right, guys.
And that is how we should look at it.
There's a difference between failing, because you fail as a human, you fail as a parent.
You fail as a man, fail as a husband, fail as a wife, but you cannot fail as a parent.
Winners always, they never quit.
Oh,
you know, there's a big difference between failing and quitting. How we reach gambling?
winners always play Lotto Plus. I thought that's why he was going to see winners. Winners always play Lotto
We need
Plus.
to go and get back your sense.
Nikki.
We need to get back your sense.
At the end of the day, guys, it's about the kids, and we just talk this talk. So hopefully,
I thought they were going to say winners always play Lotto Plus.
Oh,
LSC began we talk.
Yeah, but it's the way you set it up. You see winners.
No, you shouldn't talk about how we
Yeah. Oh God, no.
Thank
No.
God you have a lot of knowledge about this topic because you have two.
Your song is real good, this one.
Lotto Plus.
If you didn't have two, you'd be saying, well, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't understand. Well, when the horse gallop down the road and the monkey see him, and then the donkey, you'd have talk off thing, brother.
I go down, I go and play a market early players.
All right, guys, you can check us out on our YouTube channel later if you missed it or want to see it again.